I'm Bill. You may know me as comedian, musician, and sometime dancer. But you might not know, one of my great loves is art.
I particularly love sketching wildlife. And now I want to give some amazing people a unique experience by celebrating their life through art.
We've honoured them, we've clapped for them. My own mum and dad were part of them.
I'm talking about the amazing people of the NHS. And to mark the 75th anniversary of our health service, I'm bringing together some inspirational NHS workers.
We admit 2 stabbings a day, 2 shootings a week. I'd go home and I would just cry.
A man jumped from the 3rd floor and landed headfirst onto my back.
I'm getting emotional, guys. I'm so sorry.
With some of the most talented artists from across the country.
Yes, I come in. What a privilege. You've given me goosebumps.
To create a series of unique portraits that represent the best of modern Britain. This is Extraordinary Portraits.
Oh, that's incredible.
I'm speechless.
It's amazing.
I'm shaking inside and I'm completely humbled.
You've captured pretty much all of my life.
Whether it's a domestic injury like burning your hand on an oven, trying to get a potato waffle out, I speak from experience, or something more serious, you'll probably find yourself in one of the busiest departments of a hospital, accident and emergency. Today's subject is Grace, a trailblazing junior doctor breaking down barriers both in and out of the hospital.
Grace is in her 2nd year as a junior doctor, working in the A&E department of a South London hospital.
Has it been busy today?
Usual Tuesday morning madness.
I think it's going to be quite a big ask to capture this determined young doctor, but I think the person who will connect with her courage and her ability to defy expectations is 26-year-old Leicestershire artist Jamisha Madhavji. She's a figurative painter who explores themes of modern identity in her work.
Jamisha seeks to tell a story in her portraits and frequently asks sitters to wear their favourite clothes, which she depicts in forensic detail.
When I'm painting someone, it's more about a journey about knowing who they are.
Styling her subjects is an essential part of her process.
Jamisha.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Let's go inside.
Sure.
All right, follow me. So you'd like to take a pew here?
Yep.
Welcome. Thanks so much for coming down. I've just been looking at some of your paintings. They're just absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much.
What a wonderful combination of likenesses, of colour. They're quite traditional in some ways, but also very contemporary.
So I normally paint people that I don't know. So it might be people that I find on social media or somebody that I've seen, you know, on the street or in a shop or somewhere.
How do they feel about that?
At the beginning, I used to think that they might feel a little bit like, oh my gosh, who is this strange person, you know, just asking for me
Coming up to them in the street
Yeah,
going,
exactly.
hello, can I paint you?
But I think they felt quite flattered and they were always really kind and most of them were willing to be part of it. They'll bring in, you know, a suitcase full of clothes and, you know, accessories and I'll style them.
So it's like a bit of a fashion shoot for them.
Almost like that, yes. The styling and the positioning, the composition, it's very much dependent on their personality, what I think would look good on them and what actually represents them.
I've got to say, it's quite unique. It's lots of colour, there's lots of folds of fabrics as well.
I wore a shirt which had like lots of big roses on it and I really loved it. Creating you know, the patterns on the shirt was really, you know, it was kind of like meditation. So that's where it kind of started from. And that's where my interest with floral prints and floral kind of clothing began from. So I thought, why not actually paint myself, you know, in that shirt, because I felt like that best represented me. But also, you know, I belong to an Indian family. There's a lot of colour in our culture, in our religion as well.
Absolutely, yes. Whenever I've been to India, it's just like a riot of colour.
Yes, there's no kind of colour barrier there, which I find really interesting. Like, there's no feminine or masculine colours. I kind of like to take that into my own work. So I'm really interested in people that, you know, they're not trying to fit into any kind of labels that the society has developed. It's very much about how they feel confident in themselves, whatever gender they are, whatever sexuality they are, it doesn't really matter. I think it's very much about who you are individually.
Well, I think it's about time now for you to meet your subject. I'll just go and collect them. So you wait here, sit tight, see you in a minute.
Okay, see you in a bit.
Okay. Hi, Grace.
Hi.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
So, how are you feeling about getting your portrait done?
I mean, what an opportunity. This doesn't really happen every day, so I really can't wait.
What about your family? How do they feel about it?
My mum is very, very excited. She can't stop talking about it.
It's time now to go and meet the artist.
Brilliant.
Hello.
Jamisha, meet Grace. Grace, meet Jamisha.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Take a pew.
I feel like we're about to go on a bit of an adventure together.
Tell us a bit about your story and, you know, how you've come to be a doctor.
I always wanted to do medicine since the age of about 6. I had this diagnosis book that I was obsessed with, looking at what sort of, you know, symptoms I could have that day, and I got into medical school. I was in the 4th year of medical school when I sustained my spinal cord injury, and that sort of put a break on things for about a year, and it really made me realise how much I wanted to do my job.
If you don't mind me asking you, how did the injury actually happen?
So I was walking through a shopping centre and on the kind of ground floor atrium, and a man jumped from the 3rd floor and landed sort of headfirst onto my back.
Wow, okay.
Completely random. Like, you don't expect ever something like that happening.
That almost helped me in a way, because I didn't feel any anger. It just felt like this very strange event where we'd bumped into each other and we'd sort of changed the course of both of our lives. Yeah.
Basically, you kind of broke his fall in, really, and saved his life.
You can think about so many what ifs. Probably if I wasn't there, he could have died. And I wouldn't ever change what's happened to me, and someone would be dead.
When something like this happens, a lot of people project, you know, their own opinions. How do you deal with that, and how do you feel about it now?
That was, I think, really tricky at the start, because I'm trying to wrap my head around what's just happened.
Yeah.
But around me, I'm having opinions from so many people, you know, oh, you must feel furious at this, you must hate this man. It wasn't only that they were projecting sort of anger at my situation, it was projecting their own ignorance, really, I think, about what being disabled means.
I really like how you said that you don't feel angry towards him, or there's not that hatred, and that already kind of shows me what kind of person you are.
I think I've stopped caring as much, and I realised that it is a projection of other people's ignorance. It's not something I need to internalise.
I like the fact that you said that you're not thinking about the society or what people are saying anymore. That's something that's really important to me as well as an artist, because the people I normally paint, they stand out from everyone and they don't care about what other people say.
I wouldn't change my injury now. I feel really proud to be disabled. I'm really happy with my identity.
So how would you like to see yourself presented in the painting?
I think when I was first injured, I was a bit ashamed of using a wheelchair, having a mobility device, because I don't think it's well represented in the media or the TV or film we watch. But actually now, I'm so proud to kind of be a wheelchair user. It's so integral to my identity that when I'm without it, I feel a bit lost.
Okay, well, Grace and Jamisha, it's time now for you to get cracking on this adventure.
Brilliant.
Jamisha, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Grace, lovely to meet you.
to meet you.
All right, on your way. It'd be interesting to see how this painting and this portrait develops, because on the one hand, Grace doesn't want to be defined by what happened to her, but now she's quite comfortable with it. So whether she wants to be painted with the chair or not, we'll see.
As soon as she started talking about colour and textures and patterns, I thought, oh my God, this is, exactly what I hope for. I'm really excited to see how she views me and how she would like to represent me. I think that's going to be amazing.
Before she starts the portrait, Jamisha visits Grace to find some inspiration.
So I've bought a big pile that I'd love to get your opinion on.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I love a green, and I love this pattern so much that I got 2 of them. I'm really big on colour now, I think even more so than before my injury, because I do feel like if people are looking at me anyway as a wheelchair user, then I might as well be bright and colourful.
I see that there's a lot of greens and yellows.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that really goes with your personality, and that's the colours you really love. So maybe we could use something like that.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned accessories. I've also brought some earrings to show you. So I do love a big statement earring.
Have a look at them. Are there any particular earrings that you feel very close to, or they're your favourite ones?
I love these yellow ones, I think, because of the colour.
We'll go for yellow earrings. I think they'll look nice. I think this one stands out to me the most. Do you want to try it on and then?
Yeah, very happy to.
And then we can
Thank
take
you.
some pictures. Oh, I love this dress. It looks really nice on you. Are there any kind of special objects that you'd like to have around you, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. For the anniversary of my injury every year, lots of people who have spinal cord injuries, sometimes they call it like an alive day, or a second birthday. So Nathan got me this vase last year, and yeah, I really like that.
You seem really calm, confident and relaxed.
Before my injury, I probably wasn't as confident. I think I hold a lot of power as a wheelchair user, which sounds a bit strange to say, but I don't know, when you go into a room and people are instantly uncomfortable or just tripping over themselves, you think, actually, that's quite powerful in a way. So I feel like I'm trying to use that to my advantage, and that's really helped me.
Hi, I'm Nathan.
I'm Jamisha. Nice
Nice to meet you, Jamisha. Hello.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
Oh, that's squash curry.
Ooh, sounds good.
What's your day?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. What's Grace been like as a subject?
She's been really, really great.
Yeah, it was really fun. We got to play around with lots of clothes, try on some different accessories. Felt like I was in a fashion show.
Cool.
Could you tell me a little bit about Grace?
Where do I start about Grace? We've been together for 7 years now. Met her in the library at our university. Yeah, I thought she looked really cool and interesting, so I went and asked her out for a coffee. Guess it worked, right?
I think so. I think we can
Yeah.
say after 7 years
Yeah.
it works.
No, obviously I love her very, very dearly. She's very determined. Like, I see that in the way she talks about her occupation. She's very dedicated to her patients.
You've been with Grace 7 years, so how do you remember the incident?
My resounding memory from it is basically watching Grace get very close to not surviving this incident. It leaves me with a sense of real appreciation that she did sort of pull through it and can still enjoy her company today. Yeah.
And how do you kind of feel that things have changed for you?
I mean, Grace and I had been together for a while before it happened, and so there was an adaptation. You know, you had ideas for what you'd want to do with your life. I think it's good to also look at it as a bit of a challenge, like, you know, why can't we go to Venice on holiday when it's probably the least wheelchair accessible city in Europe? You can look at these sort of things and be defeated by them, but I think it's within human nature to be adaptable, and, you know, you've got to accept the challenge.
I'm meeting Jamisha in Lewisham so we can see Grace in action.
I think it's important to see her in her place of work because this is a huge part of who Grace is.
Hi, Jamisha.
Hello, good morning.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So you're going to be
I'll
Doing
be doing
some
some sketches
sketching,
while
right?
she's at work.
And you think that this might actually
influence the way that the portrait might go?
Absolutely. I think it will add, I think, a different kind of energy and a different sort of thought process into the painting.
Great. Let's go.
It's a typically busy day in the A&E department, and Grace is already hard at work. So I observe whilst Jamisha sketches.
My name's Grace, I'm one of the doctors. What's brought you in today?
Over the weekend, the knees become unbearable.
And what does this pain feel like? That can be hard to describe. It's just everything. I'll just grab some gloves.
You're sketching away furiously here, Jamisha. It's quite difficult because Grace keeps sort of bailing about.
It's helpful, can't reach any of the gloves on here.
I'm just trying to capture the movement and her position as well.
Right.
Like as a wheelchair user, how she's positioning to check his leg. I'm not trying to capture the features or anything. You're just in the moment and not thinking about the end result. It looks very abstract at the moment. But I think when I look at it, I know the energy that patient and the doctor has, I think would help with the painting.
Just seeing Grace at work, you see how comfortable she makes the patient. As a doctor, attending someone at her bedside, you're kind of leaning over them, maybe looming over. Whereas actually, she's just talking to them very naturally. One of the positive consequences of being a wheelchair user. I mean, it's all go, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing. This is like pretty...
Stop anywhere.
You just can't really stop, can you? I mean, it's just full on.
This, I'd say, is a quiet day.
But I imagine there's days when it's completely manic.
Yeah, it can get really busy. So you have to be able to multitask and people are trying to get past you and crashing into you and things.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it feels like I'm doing an obstacle course around the hospital. But it's good, it means I've become quite nifty in my chair.
I guess you work in different hospitals, right? So they vary in terms of like access and
Yeah,
ability to
definitely
get on.
access, kind of attitudes I find is really interesting in different places. It can be tricky sometimes. It feels like I kind of have to prove myself as a doctor that I belong here, and that's I think why representation is so important. As soon as you see one person, I think it's much easier to kind of accept other people.
We actually are in the way here, so you know what? You're very busy. Let's get back to work and we'll just observe.
See you in a
All right,
bit.
see you in a bit.
It's really important for me to know her as a person and what kind of goes behind the scenes as well, and I think that would add a different kind of dimension to the painting. And I'd love to know more about her vulnerability and her emotionally, which would convey a completely different kind of inner or natural grace.
Jamisha has invited Grace and her best friend Lexi to her studio in Leicester's Creative Quarter.
Oh, it's so bright in here.
It's beautiful.
Amazing.
So much light.
Yeah, that's why I really love this space actually. Yeah, last time when I actually came to the hospital, I made like really quick sketches of Grace at work. So I think today it's a great chance for me to get the features and get you on here. Is there anything you feel like would best represent her?
You are a very colourful person in the way that you approach life and the way that you look and like dress. She is someone who just never stops. You know, a few months after your injury, you were abseiling off a building. You were writing a book. You're still like incredibly active. It's really cool to see. You're smashing life. I remember actually, whilst you were still in hospital, your mum had said to me, Grace wouldn't want anyone to treat her differently after this. It's just something that I think is important.
When was the first time you actually knew about the accident?
So I remember I was waiting underground for the tube and Nathan had called me. He sounded kind of in shock and didn't quite know what was going to happen. I remember when I did see you, it felt like you were consoling me, not the other way around. So that was a real testament of you and how you were facing everything before we were facing it, you know. I'm gonna cry too.
I think it's interesting you talk about me consoling you, because I think for me it took like weeks before I even understood what was going on. It was this jarring juxtaposition of just being a medical student and seeing patients And then suddenly being on the other side of the bed, feeling like I had complete loss of kind of autonomy, control over my own body, control over the situation. That was really tough. I think that difference, and it was so sudden. And that was a huge thing to try and process. But I think what this injury has shown me is how valuable some friendships are, and it's people that just are willing to just go with the flow. So like if friends want to do something, there's not a question of whether I can do it with them, it's with kind of how are we going to facilitate that. I'm really grateful for that.
You could have lost something, you could have become a different person, but you fundamentally have stayed the same, which is really special.
I think it was really important for Lexi to be here because I didn't see the emotional side in the past settings, so I felt like that was a really important sitting for me. That'll definitely help me with my painting as well.
With the big reveal only days away, Jamisha is feeling the pressure.
It is a fairly critical moment where I have to really plan how long I'm going to spend on each section. So it's just going to be a matter of having fun with the paint and letting the paint take me on a journey. There's so much I've learned about her. There's like a whole different kind of story that I've tried to show through the painting.
Ten weeks after meeting Jamisha, Grace is back to see her portrait for the first time.
Oh, hi, Jamisha. You need a bit of a hand with this painting?
Yes, please.
I got it. OK, let's go.
For the big reveal, Grace has brought along partner Nathan, her parents Penny and Bill, and good friends Jamie and Lexi.
So, quite a size. How's it been anyway? How's the process been?
It's been really exciting to get every single section done, every day. I was basically giving myself 2 days to do one section, and that's how I was like really working fast.
It was fascinating seeing her in her place of work when we went to visit her in hospital.
That was probably almost like a foundation to the painting. What I particularly got from Grace is her behaviour. It was so calming and nurturing.
So, this is it, the moment of truth. You nervous?
Maybe a little bit right now.
Well, I think this is the moment where we're going to get the family in. You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
OK, let's get them in. Quite a crowd. Excellent. How are you feeling about today?
It feels like we've just been doing something really fun together. I've sort of forgotten that there's an end product, so I'm really excited about it now. It feels a bit
This is
surreal.
it. Here it is, yeah. So what about the rest of you? How has this been? How do you feel about all this?
A bit nervous, but, excited.
It is quite startling sometimes to see how others see you. What are the sort of traits that you think that you'd like to see or perhaps might come out in this painting?
I'd like to see you striking a bold pose, I think, sort of capture a certain courageous sort of nature to you.
Definitely want to see her bravery and courage. And I mean, she's a really captivating person. I mean, I would say that, but she is.
Oh, it's so lovely to hear all that. You don't normally get to just ask your friends and family to give you compliments, so that's really special.
It's like getting a review.
I know, exactly.
Well, I guess you want to see it, right?
Yes, please.
OK, so, Jamisha, can you do the honours?
Okay.
Oh my God!
That's amazing. That is amazing.
I'm speechless. Wow. My colours.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's spectacular.
Oh, that's amazing, Jamisha. I can't believe that.
It's really vibrant.
And my wheelchair looks so good. Yeah, I'm finding it hard to find the words. It's just so perfect. It's so perfectly me.
Just deeply moving and also very captivating. I want to keep looking at it.
I'm hugely proud of you. She's in charge there. She's sort of sitting on top of the past couple of years of work.
We've got a photo of you on the mantelpiece when you were in hospital, and you still look bright and captivating, but a little lost, and now you no longer look lost at all.
If you wanted a doctor to take care of you, then this is the person you would choose.
It's so overwhelmingly you. It makes me so happy to see Grace looking so strong and powerful.
We're sort of reflecting on something that for all of us, especially for Grace, was really quite horrible and sad, and yet represented with this beautiful, bright, colourful, confident painting. It has that kind of feeling of joy about it.
I just want to say thank you so much, Jamisha. This has been such a special experience to share with you. I'm so happy that I just had complete trust in you to be able to represent me in the way that I feel I am, and I think you've done that exactly.
I think I took around 150 pictures. I remember seeing this one and straight away I was like, I want to paint this pose, because you just felt so relaxed and confident, and I just loved that sassiness in there as well, almost. So yeah, it's kind of like the perfect pose, the perfect Grace.
Like a kind of, yeah, I'm hanging out at home, so yeah, this is who I am.
I remember when the ambulance brought you into A&E and you had a little tear coming out of your eye and you just said, Mum, I'm just so sad I won't be able to be a doctor anymore. And almost instantly you were reassured, and that Grace's professors came to her bedside, and we had friends and were able to convince Grace that she was. So she never lost that, really. She never lost sight of that lifelong ambition, and it really kept you going, didn't it, in the darkest times?
The fact that I knew I could go back to medicine quite early on was a sort of lifeline, in terms of I felt very lost in my new identity, what my life would now look like, but I knew that I still had being a doctor. I knew that was still kind of my end goal, and that's what carried me when I really felt like I didn't know what I was anymore. I'm just so grateful to the NHS. They've saved my life twice now, so it's so special that I can now work for them.
Jamisha and I are going to step away and allow you to take a closer look.
My wheelchair's my favourite part of it, I think. I just can't.
Well, it's you.
And she's done it so well.
When Grace had this injury, it would be very easy to feel a great deal of anger about what had happened. But with Grace, you absolutely don't get that. There's a joyousness about her, this great sense of grabbing life and getting the most out of it. And I think that positivity has been captured in this painting. And you can see that. She is confident, happy, doing the job that she loves. That's a lesson, really, on the best way to live our lives.